up, everyone?
Recording in progress.
It's Tuesday night. It's Bobby Gray here. I'm back in the studio. Probably need to button at least one more button. This is a family friendly event. Thank you very much for joining me on this Tuesday Miners Update call. It's December 9th, in case you didn't already know. And I'm back in the studio. Last week I was off in Denver at the IAFE Expo, learning everything I could about fairs and festivals, what they're doing these days for in-event monetary systems. That was a great call. It's a great call. Very encouraging call. I felt great back then. I feel even better today. Every day that goes by, I feel better and better about this thing. And I'm not sick today. And that's a really good thing because, for a while I was getting worried. My brain's kind of foggy. I'm not really sure if I've got it all together. I'm thinking this is permanent. And I'm looking for all kinds of different medications. I'm willing to take whatever is going to hit the hardest. And so we had a tube of horse dewormer, that we literally picked up from like the animal supply store. And it's horse dewormer. It's made for horses. It's apple flavored. And apparently not only was I sick, but I made everybody else in the office sick. So we're passing around this tube of horse paste, licking it off the top, this green slime gel. And it worked like that day, that very same day. I was like, oh, I feel a little better. So my daughter calls me because she was sick and eating the goo. She's like, do you feel better? I'm like, I do feel better. I do too. This is really weird. Maybe it's more than just a fad. Maybe there's something to the ivermectin that actually works. So back in studio, feeling great. And guys, I don't know about you. I wish I think I said it last week. I wish I could take the enthusiasm that I feel, the energy that I have, the excitement that I have, bottle it up and include like a little horse dewormer apple flavored gel size packet of it in every welcome kit that goes out the door because I feel great. We've got a great thing. It's more and more encouraging as days go by. I'll share with you tonight, of course, what it is that leads me to conclude such things. But man, I'm glad I'm back at 100%. I was getting worried for a while. It's like, this might be permanent. Anyway, we're here. We're back and we're ready to start. So here we go. Okay, I asked Lakisa. Hopefully, she is tuned in as a panelist here. Lakisa, are you out there? Tell me you're
Yeah,
out there. There you are. I
yes,
wanted you to tune in tonight because one of the best things we did in the last couple of days was the Dallas Holiday Parade. And on my notes, and I got a sheet of notes for tonight, I just have the word wow written next to it. Do you want to take a moment and tell me your version of wow? Share with us what you felt, what we experienced. Give us the real quick summary of what we did and then what your feelings and takeaway were from that experience.
absolutely. Well, first of all, thank you, Bobby, for saying yes to the parade. It meant a lot to me. I was in this parade 30 years ago in high school. And yeah, so when I reached
That's right.
out
They're
and
doing
said,
38 years. I think this was 38th year for this event.
yes, yes.
Wow.
So
You were
11th
in it.
grade, 12th grade, I was in that parade. And so those girls that was out there freezing, I can relate. But being a part of the parade and the whole process, I was so elated because our community, one of the main feedback that I received from Jeffrey Giles, the director of the parade, was that word, wow, Texacoin, your community is amazing. They had a recap meeting on Monday yesterday, and everybody kept talking about they call us Texacoin. He said he had to write it on the board. EXIT coin to make them say text it coin. So he had to
Right.
teach them how to say it. But everybody had so much positive feedback. And he was like, wait a minute, what about Verizon? That's the reason why you guys heard them constantly talking about Verizon. They gave the most money. They were the biggest sponsor. They've been sponsoring for years. But Texas Coin was the second largest sponsor. Our people were the funnest, the most pleasant, and that's why they loved our community. The people that was working the parade, first of all, they were blown away by the cars, the community, the people, the fun, the joy, and they were just so excited about TexitCoin and just seeing it over and over in the parade, guys. I was in the stands separate from our Texas stage.
Yeah.
And when I came over there, they was looking for me. And I was like, who's this walker? Who's this walker? So I finally came over there and it was like, what is Texacoin? Everybody wanted to know. So when they were passing out the cold storage coins, I was like, y'all better get it. That's money. That's crypto. So everybody in the stands was like, I want crypto. I want it. What is it? I was like, oh my God, I didn't have any cards. But I did tell my team, y'all bring cards. So I know
Yeah.
personally people passed out hundreds of cards because there were hundreds of thousands of people at the parade wanting to
Yes.
know what is this Texacoin, guys.
Yes.
Made a big impact. So what I would say,
Huge.
guys, we need to ride on that right now. It is the buzz Texacoin right now. So we need to rise on that as a community. Don't let this momentum fall because everyone wants to know. And we're trying to do another set with WFAA as I when we present her with that check, the lady
Yeah.
at the community food. So we're gonna have one more with the news
You
station.
made somebody cry on TV.
I did. I didn't mean to. But we kept it a secret. She didn't know how much. Jeffrey told her that we were going to give her, and she knew who you were. So she knew she was getting a donation.
Yeah.
But she had no idea that her food pantry was getting $10,000. So she cried real tears of joy. And she was so thankful. So thank you. She wanted me to thank you on her behalf. I was trying to get her down there to meet you, but we couldn't get it coordinated on the carts. But amazing, Bobby. Amazing. Everybody that was there, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the morning.
That's
Thank
it.
you.
Early,
Yes.
early. And I
Yes.
asked you guys on Tuesday night, I said, look, I haven't asked for a lot from you guys. I'm asking for it now. If you signed up, if you volunteered, if you said you were going to be there, I need you to show up. And you guys showed up. And not only did we show up, but this, whatever this joy is that we've got inside of us, seems to be infectious, and it seems to be everywhere we go because people keep saying the same thing. You're good people to go be around. We enjoy the energy, the enthusiasm that comes out of us. We're there, we're happy, we're smiling. Maybe it's because we're making money. I don't know, but
So,
we're sharing that with the community, and that feeling is getting out there, and that's how people remember us. And whether it's 4 a.m. or it's 35 degrees. And I'm really glad it was cold. You don't want to have like a holiday Christmas parade and be there in flip flops and like sweating it out. You want to have that feeling of like, bundled up. And it wasn't too cold. It wasn't windy. I can
yeah.
handle cold. I just don't like windy. Like, I don't like windy and I don't like rainy and cold. So it was the exact right cold. I was outside for hours. I was like a 4-year old out there watching the things go, waving to everybody because I've never been to a parade before. And there I am at this parade, and I'm just, man, the cars going by. Every one of the floats was pulled by a Texit Coin truck, and it's like we just put our best foot forward. If they didn't know us then, they're about to know us now. And whether that's because they were downtown and they saw it go by, or they saw clips of it on social media, or they are going to see it on TV on Christmas Day. We showed up. We made a great presentation, and it was a team effort. And I was so proud of us. And the only word I can think of is wow. Wow to you for having the idea. Wow to the Dallas Holiday Parade people for being bold enough to allow us to participate. Wow to the community members that showed up at 2, 3, 4 in the morning. Thanks for letting us borrow your trucks and put them out on the street. It was just an absolutely great experience. And we're planting all of these seeds. It's going to take time, guys. It's like they say in farming, sleep, creep, leap. And it takes time. But we plant these seeds, we put a smile on our face, we do the work, we get the result. That's what happens. We're going to get lucky someday. And everyone's going to go, oh, well, they got so lucky. No, 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 no. You guys will remember the hard work, early mornings, the late nights, the time that we took away from all the other things that we could have been doing to run our project like professionals creates the opportunity for luck to happen. And it's coming our way. We sleep, we creep, And when the time is right, we leap. And we planted a lot of those seeds this past Saturday in Dallas. And so I want to say thank you for jumping on. Stick around the call. Is there anything else you have to add?
Uh, just for you, if we come back next year, he will get us an armadillo float.
Yeah,
It
we
takes three
showed
to
up a
four
little bit
months.
last minute. And I
Yes,
gotta
it
say, we are kind of novices when it comes to like carrying the balloon down the street because Rudolph was kind of like, you know, he's like, galloping the whole time. He's supposed to be kind of
yeah.
standing up and walking along. So we got to like, tweak a couple things there. But what a great day. What a great day. We had a great luncheon after that, invited out some people that helped out to get together, break bread, and congratulate ourselves for doing a great job. And so pat yourself on the back. Tell your team I said thank you very much. We had a couple great people on our side as well show up early to get the job done, coordinate things. Gary Dixon was out there making sure every one of those trucks had exactly the right hitch on it or not on it to pull all those floats. And that's we just go the extra mile, and it reads well. It looks great. We're making these great relationships, and we're planting seeds. And I think you did a really great job. So thank you for that. And I do look forward to
You.
being back there next year with our armadillo in the event.
Yay. Thank you,
So
Bobby.
the other thing we did on Friday was we had our first Cars and Crypto Day at the G2 Motorsports racetrack. And I got one word written down next to that one. Wow. We did a great job there too. So we got a little squad, and we talked about this a couple months ago about how, a really important component of our project is education and engaging and igniting a fire inside of young people. And young people love fast cars, they love loud cars, they love racetracks. When you put a couple BMWs or Corvettes or supercars in front of them, they're mesmerized. And so we rented out G2 Motorsports Racetrack for 12 track days. It's not cheap. And we have a squad of kids now that are out there going around promoting our mission at different events, showing up at public gatherings, and having a great time, and inviting young people to come out, hang out with us, and go to these car and crypto events, as we call them. And so I encourage you guys to follow Cars and Crypto on social media. Let me see if I can find it here real quick while we're talking. Underscore cars underscore and underscore crypto. Is that it? Did I get it right? No. Cars and crypto. I don't know. Do you know what it is, Rob?
I do not. Let me
Anyone know?
dig around.
Cars and crypto. Cars and crypto. Followed by Texit Coin. Here we go. Let me see if I can share my screen with you real quick so you can see this. Cars and crypto. And if you want to see the result of our first track day, jump online, join the social media. We had an absolutely great time and a really great turnout. The Falafel Express was there. I would say we probably had about maybe 100 strangers, new people show up. The L2, the layer two, was a complete flop. And it was a flop because I sat down with the kids before the event. I said, look, this is our opportunity to roll out this layer two. And you guys need to know how to do it so you can show other people how to do it. So get out your phone, go to wallet.texitcoin.org, do this, do that, do the other thing. Okay, they did it. I sent them some cars and crypto token, and they've totally forgot exactly what they were supposed to do. So people showed up at the gate. And if you remember, we told people that in order to attend, they needed to make a donation of 5 cans of goods. And we were going to do this in conjunction with a local food pantry. Well, check out what happened. We ended up collecting quite a pile of canned goods. Wrong way. Let's go this way. We had a trailer there, and then 2 truckloads as well. And I know the kids went around the last couple of days and donated this stuff to local pantries. I don't know exactly where they went. We'll keep an eye on their social media page to find out exactly where they went and what the result was for the community. But people came to the gate and they handed over their cans, and they were supposed to get 5 car and crypto tokens in exchange for that donation. And it was a flop. And then they were supposed to use the car and crypto tokens to buy hot dogs and hamburgers, food and drinks, or track access, which is incredibly valuable. And we didn't get it. And we had a debriefing meeting with the group, and we went through a long list of things we could have done better, things we did well, things we'll do better next time. But we didn't have a booth set up there for Texit Coin. We should have been giving information out. We should have had some sort of flyer or handout that explained the L2. And so people could have had an opportunity to engage it and do it the easy way. And that's really what's most important about this rollout period. We need to make the adoption process as easy as possible if we expect people to use it and get started with it quickly. That's why we're so excited about the fairs and festivals. Because think about it. When you go to a fair or festival, they tear off, a bunch of coupons for you, and then you go out and spend the coupons. Everyone knows what to do at a fair and festival. Even if you go to a fair and festival and they give you, a digital card and you got to tap it at the different vendors to pay. You're familiar with it, but the adoption process is very easy. They're not forcing you to download an app. They're not making you set up an account. They're not, having you go through some sort of tech stack in order to get to the point where you can buy the turkey leg. They make it really easy and simple. And so it works, and people use it, and everyone's accustomed to it. And so that's why we talked about last week what a major find it was to identify the exact vendors that produce, the websites that work and the apps that work and the cards and the card readers that work. Now we're going to go down that path. The next time we have our next event, and we got 2 new events coming up. The first one is this Thursday, and that's not for you. That is an invitation to all of the Collin County police, sheriffs, McKinney, Allen, Frisco, Plano. The kids went around and dropped off flyers inviting all the police to come out for high-speed training. That serves 2 purposes. Number one, it teaches high-speed driving techniques to, these police. And that's a really valuable thing. In fact, the reason we're doing this event is because somebody from McKinney PD went in there, tried to rent out the track, got a price that was out of their budget. I said, whoa, 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 let me sponsor that event for you. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to give back and engage the community and provide a positive benefit to, the people of our community. And so we did that. The second reason is so that we make friends with all the police so that while we're out driving around our fancy supercars, we don't get pulled over so often. Oh, there's the Texit Coin guys. Good luck, guys. Stay safe. That's what we're going for, right? Little ulterior motives never hurt. But seriously, this Thursday's event at G2 isn't for us. That's for the McKinney and Melissa and Anna and Celeste and Selina and all the local PDs and sheriff departments to go out there and do high-speed training. Our next event for you and for everyone, I want 1,000 people bringing cans and goods to this next event on January 16th. And by then, we're going to have a better solution in place so that we don't have a clunky adoption challenge with the L2. We're still using the car and crypto token, but we're going to do it in a much easier format so that people can go there. We'll probably end up giving them paper tickets. 5 cans, 5 paper tickets. What do I do with the tickets? Spend them on hot dogs and hamburgers and barbecue and sodas and waters and track time if you like. Now, the tickets expire at the end of the day today. If you don't use them all, go over to the Texit Coin booth. They'll show you how to download the wallet, and we'll convert those paper tickets, which are going to be worthless after today. We'll convert those into the car and crypto tokens, and that way you have them on your phone for the next time you come out to the event. Now we have a couple minutes to walk through the onboarding process with them, get them equipped, get them educated, get them more comfortable and familiar, and then give them something that retains its value that they can use at the future event. We're shooting to do one of these events every month. The other challenge we had at the event on Friday was a lot of people said, look, man, I really want to go, but Friday's a tough day. I got to work. Can you do it on the weekend? So we're switching over to Sunday events after the January 16th event. So more news on that coming soon. But the reason, like I said, we're doing this is because we want to engage our community. And we want to do these things all over the place. Obviously, we're headquartered here out of McKinney. We want to use have McKinney as our pilot program. So we want to have a really great relationship. We want to have a good reputation around town. We want them to know who we are. We want them to know that we're here to support the community. We've had some haters online being like, Texit Coin, they don't have any sponsorships. They don't do like what? What are you talking about? We do a lot of stuff, man. It's really easy for you guys to AI up a bunch of articles saying that we're a scam. But if they peel back the layers a little bit, they'll see that we really are engaged in creating value for our community. And that's important. So, like I said, guys, I feel better and better every single day that I do this. The more I dive into it, the more I know that we're doing exactly the right stuff and we're heading in exactly the right direction. And I was literally yelling in my office today. Rob and Gage were in the office today, and I was literally yelling, yelling with passion. Not because I was angry, not because I'm mad, not out of hate, not out of fear, but because I'm so excited. What were we yelling about? Do you remember what we were yelling about?
We were just excited about the legs that this thing has. We're going places.
Gage remembers what we were talking about because Gage got the right answer to the question.
Gage,
We were
pop on
talking
there.
about how we get to the top. And we have three options on getting to the top of crypto, right? Top 10, top 15, top 20 coins. We can either ask for permission, we can ask to join, we can ask for, a VIP or a prominent crypto community member to say nice things about us. We can buy our way to the top. We can pay influencers, pay for ads. We can flash our money around and ask them to say nice things about us, or we can conquer. We can go in there. We can take no prisoners. We can disrupt. We can show up at their little tea party and kick over their tea set. Gage remembers how we get there.
That's right. We keep building what we're building, right? We keep growing our mind, building our mind bigger. The whole
We
point
get there
of it
through
was
mining.
yes,
We
to
get there
build.
through mining. We tell the community that we expect to be taken seriously through mining. Why? Because we're going to take your blocks. Imagine if we were all like 5, 6 years old and like all the kids were there and playing with their blocks and we're like, we'll take 5% of those blocks. And they're like, and then they went back to playing with their blocks. And then we come along and we take another 5% of their blocks. And it's like, how many more times do you need us to take your blocks before you pay attention to us and take us seriously? We're building a 100 million mega hash mine. And with that 100 million mega hash mine, we're merge mining Litecoin. Now, we haven't figured out how to merge mine Litecoin and Doge, but we're working on it. We expect to figure that out. We know that the other guys know how to do it. We'll figure it out as well. When we're merge mining Litecoin and Doge along with Texit Coin, we're taking their blocks. We build a 100 million mega hash mine. About where we are right now, we'll be taking about 5-6% of their blocks. How long is it going to go on before they notice that some nobodies out of Texas all of a sudden are taking 5% of the entire output of their mine? We can take yours, but you can't take ours. Then we get into phase 3. We're cross mining. All of a sudden now our 5% goes to 10%, and we're taking 10% of your blocks. We're not asking for permission to be your friend. We're not asking for you to take us seriously. We're going to claim our own seat at your table. We're not buying our way in. We're not begging. We're just going to take it. And they'll know about us by virtue of us taking their blocks. It reminds me a lot of the hero winning battle conqueror Alexander the Great. And it's an interesting story because Alexander the Great is kind of an inspiration for having a hero. And my son is actually named Ashton Alexander Gray. It means the great son. I don't know if it officially means that or if we just decided it means that, but that's what we named him. And Alexander was a student of Aristotle. back in ancient Greece. And Aristotle, of course, is the father of reason and logic. Ayn Rand, my favorite author, author of Atlas Shrugged, kind of the book that I use as my roadmap for how to do a lot of things in life, credits Aristotle as being the inspiration for her work in objectivism. And when you look at the life of Alexander the Great, you realize that he never lost a battle, and he got there through boldness, audacity, courage. He didn't conquer all of these lands of Persia back then with the size of his army. He got there through audacity, clarity of purpose, and loyalty of his army into the mission that they had. We're not the biggest. We're not backed by the banks or the hedge funds. We're driven by the certainty and our divine right to peace and prosperity. That's what drives us forward. He built an empire. We're building the future of money through audacity, the audaciousness of our project. Alexander crossed deserts, mountains, and entire civilizations because he refused to accept the world as it was. And of course, the future belongs to those who keep marching. Good times and bad. He kept going and he conquered. He didn't conquer with luck. It was relentless ambition, courage to go where and when others dreaded and dared not. Fortune favors the bold. We all know that the financial house of cards is collapsing. Will you make the move with us today? Or are you going to wait for permission from somebody that has no authority whatsoever to speak on the matter? Alexander left behind his legacy of lions. His army wasn't the strongest. It was the most committed. That's how they got to where they wanted to go. We refuse to be ruled by dishonest money, by corrupt institutions, and by slave drivers. That's what drives us forward, the commitment to doing the right thing. He made friends with his conquerors, with the people that, the lands where he went and his conquests. He embraced the foreign cultures, the customs, and he even invited those people that he met along his journey into his ranks to serve as generals in his army. And he wasn't ruled by fear. And that's one of the important things I want to talk about today. I actually gave a quick speech with our staff on Monday morning as we came in about fear. Human beings are born with two fears, generally speaking. Who knows what they are? First answer, 50 TXC. For the right one, what's the other one? 50 TXC. Who's got it? We're born with two fears. Hold on. Here come the answer. Fear of loud noises from Isaiah for the win. Great job, Isaiah. Fear of failure. No. Fear of death.
Byron
no.
says falling.
Fear of loss, fear of public speaking, dying death. No, 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 no. Loud noises for Jeff Lewis is number 2. Human beings, so make a note there. Jeff Lewis gets 50 TXC. Send us your wallet address. And then, who was the other one? Isaiah, loud noises. Humans are born with two fears, loud noises and fear of falling, fear of heights. That's it. Did both say loud noises? No, Isaiah got loud noises. Did nobody else say heights, falling? Did I let the cat out of the bag on that one? Falling from Jeff Lewis. Yeah, he's got it. Loud noises and falling. That's it. All the other fears that we have, we learn along the way. What are you afraid of? What's your fear and phobia? Is it spiders? Is it public speaking, death? They say that more people are afraid of public speaking than they are of dying. It means that if there's a funeral, you'd rather be in the casket than giving the eulogy. A lot of people are afraid of the unknown. I can't remember exactly what the fear is called, but it's the fear of the uncertain. It's the fear of the unpredictable. It's what happens when you have not enough good information. You become afraid. And as you know, I call myself the falafel. Technically, it's FAFL, but it stands for founder and fearless leader. And I don't call myself the fearless leader because it sounds cool or it's a really great thing to put on the back of my t-shirt. I call myself the fearless leader because I'm not afraid of what we're doing today. Why? Because I've done it before. I've already started my own alternative currency. Back into the, aren't you afraid of going to jail, getting busted? No, I didn't get busted then, and I'm not expecting to get busted now. Well, why not? Because we're doing something totally different than what everyone else has done before. I've been around crypto long enough to see what amazing and terrible dumps look like. Let's go take a look at CoinMarketCap. Let me share my screen. Let's take a look at when I started getting into Bitcoin. I got into Bitcoin in 2017. Remember, I learned about it early on. 2012, I made the original Bitcoin coin. I started it in 2011. But I got into Bitcoin in 2017. Somebody placed an order for some cold storage coins. I had to figure out how to make them. Well, they technically placed an order for commemorative coins, and I'm like doing research, learning that most people's challenge with crypto back then is that they were losing their private keys. They're getting hacked, getting scammed. And so I got into Bitcoin right around here, right around 2,000, 3,000 bucks. And I watched Bitcoin go from 2,000, 3,000 bucks all the way up to $20,000. It's debatable exactly what the high was. But I saw it hit on my phone, $20,000, December 17th, 2017. And I watched it go down. There was a little Christmas sale there where it was all the way down from 20 to $14,000, 25% off for Christmas. What a deal. And then it dropped all the way down to 7,600. And over the course of the next year, a year later, it bottomed out at $3,200. $3,200 over $20,000 is an 84% drop. 84%. This is cryptocurrency. It's incredibly volatile. You got to have a strong stomach to stick around this cryptocurrency thing. High highs, low lows, yo-yo goes up and down. It's scary if you've never seen it before. I've seen it before. And I haven't just seen it once. How many times are we going to watch this same playbook unravel? Bitcoin's at 20,000, then it's all the way back down. Then it goes on a run from there up to where? It goes from there all the way up to $67,000 and then back down to 16,000 and then back up to it's up and it's down. And if you look at any one of these periods of time, if you focus in on these events, man, it looks like the end. But if you're around long enough and you get the hang of it, you look at the trend over a long enough period of time and you can see exactly where it's going. It gives you the ability to no longer be afraid of it. I've been through a business collapse before. In 2013, I lost everything that I had. Am I broken up here? I look choppy. Are you still there, Rob?
Just a touch.
There we go.
You're good now.
I think we're good. I went through a business collapse. I lost everything that I have. I know what it looks like when you're going through hard times. I know what it smells like. I know what it feels like. Because of the experience that I had in 2013, I'm watching exactly what's happening right now, and I'm not afraid. Because I know the indicators. I know what the difference is between going through holiday season, going through a rough patch, going through a correction, going through this, and what a business failure looks like. It's that information. It's that experience. It's the firsthand knowledge of the things that we've gone through that have put me in a position where I'm not afraid to do exactly what we're doing right now. And the information and the evidence that I get every single day from the work that we're doing is the stuff that drives my conviction and certainty that we're doing it exactly right. Because whether the numbers are up or the numbers are down, we do our work every single day. We build the mine, we pay the commissions, we promote the coin. Last week, we spent some time overbuying mining equipment. The next week or two, we're hoping to have good news out of Conroe to set up those next 2 units. We just spent a lot of money on the Dallas Holiday Parade. We made it so that millions of people across the country are going to know who Texit Coin is as that airs on live TV nationwide on Christmas Day. And now we're getting started with the real work, the work that I'm passionate about, the layer 2 stuff. We have a list of communities that are asking to be first up on it. We have the hardware in mind now. Now we know what the solution needs to look like. We're doing the work that we need to do to continue down our roadmap, to continue down our path, to get the coin used, establish our utility, and take this project exactly where we always intended for it to go. But it's good information through firsthand experience that allows us to move forward boldly without being driven or pushed backwards by fear. I was having a conversation with my man Brig earlier today. Brig, you out there? I think you're out there somewhere. There he is. We were talking about, I don't remember exactly how we got into the conversation. And this time I did ask Brig. Normally I'm like, oh, Brig's there. Let's put him on. But this time I did ask you. I gave you a little bit of a heads up. And I said, hey, man, would you mind coming on the call tonight and talking to me a little bit about how important it is for people to have good information? Because if in the absence of it, you're just wandering around social media. This guy, is this video fake, real? I don't know what to listen to. I don't know what to believe. And one of the things that people have said over and over and over and over and over again is the reason they're here tuned in on this project, because it's the one thing out there that actually is transparent and is real. And if you don't mind, Brig, thanks for joining. Can you take me back through that conversation we were having today about good information and how important it is to keep people engaged and committed to a project, mission, cause?
Wouldn't mind at all, Mr. Bobby. Listen, this is dangerous giving me this platform for a moment, especially giving me a few minutes to think about it. Because I've been thinking about it since
You're
you
my
asked.
number 2 for a good reason, Brig.
10 minutes ago, you let me know. So watch this. Here, we're going to start with something that'll make you laugh a little. We're all born we come out upside down, naked and crying. And we come out with this umbilical cord attached to us. For most people, they cut that umbilical cord, and most people put a plug on the end of it, and they search their whole lives trying to figure out where to plug in. I mean, I used to think everyone's a man, bar mitzvah at 13. You become a man because you know how to reason properly, and you start to learn the difference between good and evil when you come into manhood, womanhood. Today, we got guys and they're living in their basement at 50, 60, 30, 40, 50, 60 years old, totally looking at a screen, playing games. And they got that plug. They're just plugging into the next thing that comes around. And Bobby, what I told you in Tampa, I mean today. I see you who have studied this industry. Probably you're more knowledgeable about the alternative crypto, not just crypto, but alternative currency platform than anybody on the market. You missed the big one. I mean, you missed Bitcoin like I did because I didn't understand it.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't plugged into the right source. I didn't know blockchain and all that. And I missed out at 14 cents. I could have got in with $1,000. I'd be a billionaire today. My friend is, and that's why I can prove it. He came, he got in, I didn't. Why? I was plugged into the wrong source of information. So what I told you today, I watched, I woke up, I looked at the price. I normally don't do that. And I went, darn. I said, I know what's going on. Next thing I did, I went to Bobby immediately because I know this about most people. They're all plugged in somewhere where they shouldn't be plugged in.
Yeah.
And basically, I don't know if you even read that this morning, Bobby. I mean, that was this morning. And I woke up at about 7:30, 8 o'clock and text you. I says, baby, hold the line. I got your back.
Yeah.
Everything's going to be fine. Because first of all, I'm an investor. The greater the risk, the greater the reward. I've been investing for some 40 years. And here's what I'm going to tell you. I do my research. I don't throw money at people, but I'm very careful what information I take in. I'm going to do my own due diligence. And what I've learned is you got to be careful of the source you're listening to. If you don't mind, I'm going to look at some notes. I jotted down some thoughts about what you and I talked about.
I'd do the same thing. I got my page all set up.
Watch this. Who do you listen
a rare
to?
list of notes.
Yeah. Who do you listen to? Everyone listen to me. Who do you listen to for your source of information? And then, because with that, you tend to build your belief system about the information that you're taking in. But you better be very careful about the source you're listening to, because everyone's got an opinion. It's like a butthole. Everyone's got one. And everyone's willing to form their opinion. I love and hate social media because if you want to think that me or Bobby are crooks, there's enough information on the internet to support that. Whatever narrative you want to believe, you can support it with all the false information because people got no filters anymore. They just want to talk. They want to have this following. I want more people. They stir it up. So I want to tell you this. All of you want to be successful in this. You're going to become who you associate with. It's real simple. The only difference between you today and 2 to 5 years from now is the books you read, as Bobby's promoting, and the people you associate with. So I told him, I gave him a statement. I says, the Bible says reliable information permits progress. And I can go all the way back to the Old Testament and talk about Solomon and the great wisdom that he gained because God gave him a wish like no other person on the planet. One wish I'll give you. I'll grant you any wish you want. You know, he didn't ask for fame or fortune or all that stuff. You know what he asked for? The wisdom to lead his people properly. The wisdom to lead. He was a king. All these servants, all these great needs. God, give me the wisdom to lead your people. Do you know that because God was so pleased with what he asked, he blessed him with fortunes beyond any person on the planet, concubines, camels, you know, he had it all, my friend. But if you don't know your Bible, in the end, you know what he quit doing? Because of the pride that was bestowed upon him. That was his choice. He could have stayed true to the source that gave him that wisdom, but he didn't. He looked and started believing his own headlines that he was something special. And you know what he did? He lost it. He lost it because he quit. He took his unplugged from God, his source, his true good source, and plugged it into the world. And the world told him what he wanted to hear. He was so great. He wasn't great. God gave him the information he needed. And watch this. I say this. Beware of who you're listening to. I'm going to listen to Bobby Gray based on this. Why? Because he's the most knowledgeable guy I found to this point that knows anything about the condition of where this can go, why it's going there. His mission is absolutely pure. The way he's going to get there, I fully agree with. Beware who you listen to. Who has your best interest in mind? One thing I found, his heart's right. He don't want nothing from me. He wants all this. He keeps saying this, a rising tide lifts all ships. But I want to tell you this, an ebbing tide, all ships go down. And that's what's happening right now. There's a bunch in the world that doesn't like what's going on they have alternative motives to run this world. And it's all tied to money. Honest money. There's a bunch of no goods out there that are buying and selling all this stuff. I know that BlackRock and China own most of Bitcoin. You don't think they're manipulating the market? They want to drive it down. Why? So that they can buy up all the rest of it and control it. I'm liking an independent one. I like one that comes from America for Americans. Are we going international? You bet. We're going to influence the world, but we're going to do the hard lifting right here in America. This is the toughest deal Bobby's going to have to do to fill these million seats in America. Why? We've become cynical in America. And I'm telling you, wake up, get out of it, and dream again. Allow this guy to input into your little mind, plant some seeds of hope that can come with you. Here's what I want to tell you. You run with dogs, you're going to get fleas. You know what? You run with people, you want to be successful, find the most successful people in this model and follow them. That's what Bobby's doing. He's identifying all these people he's having speaking and follow him. He uses the term, if you hadn't heard GIGO, garbage in, garbage out, I turn it around because that one's easy. The news is negative, people are negative, the stock market's lying. They're a bunch of liars. It may be an indication of what's going on, but there's somebody controlling that. And here's what I believe. I believe this particular project has a place for all the people that are hurting, that want something more. And I'm going to be honest with them about what this can do. I'm not promising them anything. I'm saying this is as much a risk as anything else I've ever done. Anything can happen. We can't control the weather, things outside of our control, but I can control this. I can make decisions based on the good information that I get, and I've got good information. Instead of garbage in, garbage out, I say good things in, good things out. So I'm going to put good, I'm listening to Bob, I'm listening to Bobby Rue, I'm listening to all the people that are succeeding at this, and I'm starting to realize something. It's affecting my attitude. You know what my attitude is? I'm going to succeed.
Yeah.
I'm going to do this. I am not going to try it. I'm going to do it. Why? Because they ain't going to quit. They ain't quitting kind of people. And I'm not going to quit. So if you think you can, you can. And if you think you can't, you can't. So you got to feed that emotion, that thought process. I'm going to put this good things in to support the result I'm looking for. Success and failure is a decision, but it really does start with how you think and who you're listening to. And I'll kind of give you a good story to go to bed on tonight. You know that God made a promise to those millions of people that were fleeing Egypt. And he told them, I have a promised land for you. So he busted them out. You know, Moses brought them out of that Egyptian slave bondage. But where did he send them? 40 years in the desert. When they finally, after 40 years of wandering around, fed them manna, you know, he led them by a pillar of smoke during the day and fire at night. He provided for them because he said, I've got a promised land for you. And for 40 years, Moses stayed true to that vision, wandering all around. You know, if you walk from where they left Egypt and where it's only about a 2-week walk, why did it take them 40 years? Disobedience, and they were plugged into the wrong source. It took 40 years for him to eliminate the negative, the desire to go back. When they finally got to the promised land, Moses assigned 12 spies to go into the land that God says, this is the land I've given to you. Take it. This is yours, a covenant I give to you. He sent 10 spies, and here's the test. Hey, Bobby, I got 100 coin I'll give to someone. I will give it to him if you can answer my question.
Okay, I'm ready.
100 coin to anybody that can answer this question. Listen to my story. So the 12 spies go into the promised land. 10 of them come back, and what do they say?
Don't do it.
Don't do it. We're as
win.
grasshoppers. There are giants in the land. They
get the
will
prize?
annihilate us. Let's go back to Egypt. Better to be in bondage and live than to go and face those giants. Okay, that's 10. Who are the 2? They weren't around. The 2 came back a little later because they had this big stick around there, and they had this big old heap of grapes as big as their head, and they were walking with the grapes out of the promised land. And you know what? When they put it down, Moses goes, "What the heck?" And they went, "Oh my gosh, giants! Who are these uncircumcised Philistines? They come to us, like David says, with a sword and a spear. We come to them in the name of the Lord God Almighty. Who are these people to take it? This is the land that you've given us. This is the land we'll take. Now, here's the 100 coin I'll give away. What are the name of the 10 spies that came back with a negative report? It ain't gonna make it. My God, the price I got in at it. Now it's down.
We got a lot of people here saying
God.
Joshua and Caleb again and again and again, but those are the 2, not the 10.
You named the 2, Joshua and Caleb. Is there anybody here that can name the 10? I'll give you 100 coin if you can name the 10 spies. Go ahead. Yeah, and by the way, there's no time limit on this except by the end of the call or by the end of time I'm speaking. If you ain't got them in there, no problem. But gosh, what he just mentioned, the 2, Joshua and Caleb, everyone knows those 2. Why? Listen closely. History does not record losers. You decide you're going to win in this, you're going to be the people. I sat out here on the dock, guy building my dock, multi-million-dollar dock I'm building out here for multi-zillion-dollar boats I'm going to put out there. And you know what? He came out. I says, you came over here to talk to me. I gave him the coin. I told him a little bit about it. He says, man, I just worked for this guy. I've been working 20 years. I'm going to have my own business. I said, when? He says, I don't know. Things don't look good. I said, what if I told you there was an opportunity that I could show you where you could probably own that business in the next couple years? He says, I'm all ears. Told him about this. He's coming to my meeting tomorrow night. And look, all I know is hope is a powerful thing. Hope is premature faith. How are we sponsoring and bringing people in? People that want to unplug from this negative world that's beating them down and giving them a little hope. Hope is nothing more than premature faith. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. A more modern version is faith is looking into the future, bringing into the present and acting like it's happening right now. I see Texit Coin in the next year. Well, give me a year with this. Man, nothing great happens overnight. You saw it go up and down. I've been here before. I've built and lost businesses, but when I didn't quit, I stayed the course. It took me, my first business, 6.5 years to get to 0. And in the next couple of years, I told Bobby, 12 years, I made over $100 million. Hardest $100 million I ever made. But you know what? The second time it happened, I knew what to face. I knew I was going to face. I knew how to circumvent them. Better information.
So there's nothing that replaces that experience. You can't buy it.
That's right.
And until you go through it, you don't know what to expect. And it's easy and understandable to be afraid. What happens is people have the fear of the unknown, but they also have the fear of the missing out. That's what we in crypto call FOMO, right? And usually for most people, that FOMO causes them to take that leap of faith when they say, well, I don't really know what I'm getting myself into, but I know I don't want to miss out on this opportunity. It could be big. So we have to balance these two things, this FOMO versus this fear of, the uncertainty. And so I want our community to know that you've got some really great people here that have seen crypto ups and downs. They've seen business failure ups and downs. They've seen all kinds of life experiences. And it's this collection of our experiences as leaders that causes us to know exactly what the future looks like, because it's probably going to represent something extremely similar to the past.
And then, Bobby, let me finish with this.
Please.
See, I can either believe what you're saying or not to believe. That's my choice. And my point to Bobby was we got to get people identifying the source of what they want to believe, because in the end, you have a choice. I can either believe what he's saying or not believe what he's saying. And watch this. My last point. Believing starts with wanting to believe. And I'm going to ask a question to everyone on this call. How many of y'all want to believe that Bobby's vision can be a certainty in your future, and you can have a life-changing event that starts today because you've decided, I'm not going to listen to a bad report. History, it doesn't do well for losers. It records the names of those people that have enough faith to believe. We're going to face some giants. We're going to overcome some things, folks. That's just part of business. You don't think Bitcoin didn't go through it? Every business I've owned. And by the way, what we're talking about right now is in chapter 11 of my book, and it's called Going All In. And this was my second $100 million. I wrote about this. Y'all, shameless plug. Why not you? Why not now? Because you get Atlas Shrugged and get why not you? Why not now? And I'll help you through the process of eliminating, because I'm plugged into a source. I'm plugged into God Almighty, but I'm telling you something. If I want to know what this kind of a business can do for me and the world, I got to plug into the people who have already been there, done that. They come, I want to be in Bobby. He ain't going to be the only one on the back of that yacht with that big old cigar and his kids jumping around on jet skis, traveling. I'm going to be right there with him, and you can come with us. But you got to decide, whose report are you going to believe? I'm choosing to plug into this source. Bobby's allowed us to bring a system to you that's going to teach you how to kind of control this so that we're going to level the playing field for everyone. So hang tight. Bobby, thank you for asking me. Reliable information permits progress. That's why we're here. Bring it on.
I absolutely love it. And I gave you 10 minutes to prepare. You had 3 pages of notes for us. So I'm only giving you 3 to 5 minutes in the future.
Okay.
And I really appreciate you contributing. And thank you very, very much. Stick around as long as you like. What I want to show you, and the whole reason we got into this this question or this topic of fear is because, look, we see the price, we hear the comments, we see the charts the same way you do. And so I've told you guys for a very, very long time that this is the only chart that I pay attention to, the revenue and commission split. The revenue and commission split chart, not the price, nothing other than the revenue and commission chart on our dashboard. It shows you how healthy our compensation plan is running. Okay. What this means is, like, you guys go out there, you help share our story, you help us build, you fill the seats on the rocket, and you get paid. And we designed the compensation plan for the payout to be about 50%. And so if you look back over this, we did, what is it, 5.41 million here and about 2.75. It's about 50%. They're about 6 million in revenue and about 3 million in commission, about 50%. 6.83, 3.35, a little less than 50%. I haven't looked at this chart in months analytically to see how close we are because we've been doing so very well. And our comp plan has been holding up extremely well. So well, in fact, that we added a supernova bonus. We added more meat on the bone because the comp plan has been performing so well. With the excess, we use it for our freedom field trips. We use it for our getaways. We use it for our parties. We use it to reward our community with events and fun stuff. And I want to bring to your attention a little bit of a warning signal. And the warning signal is that last week we ran at 56% commission. And so if you take out your calculator and you say, okay, 1.59 over 282, 1.59 over 2.82, last week's commission was over 56%. And that's one of the things that I look at and I go, okay, hold on. This is not good. Is it bad? Well, it's not bad if it happens once or twice, but if it's 56% this week and 65% next week and 75% and 82% and then 100%, that means that we're paying out as much money as we're bringing in. That means we don't have money for building the mine. It means we don't have money for promotion. It means we don't have money for overhead, salaries, payrolls. We don't have money for rents and electric and all that stuff. That's trouble. And so I look at that chart to tell me the health of our comp plan. And when I see it going there, I ask myself one question based on all of my experience and this lack of fear that comes through that experience. Should I be worried? Now, going back to 2013, when I lost everything that I had and took one suitcase and bought a one-way ticket to Asia to put my life back together, I believe if I was honest with evaluating what happened back then, I ended up where I did because something went wrong in my business and I didn't take drastic enough measures fast enough, soon enough to prevent the outcome that I eventually reached. Something went wrong and the bleeding started. And I tried this and I tried that and I tried that and tried that. And by the time this bleeding got to the point where the wound was so big, so gaping, so open, it was impossible for me to stop it and prevent it from becoming the disaster that it was. And I point back to not taking seriously the indicators, the little indicators when the problems began, and not taking drastic enough action to stop the things that were happening in their tracks to prevent things from going the way they did. Now, everything happens a particular way for a reason. And if that didn't happen, I wouldn't have ended up in Asia. I wouldn't have learned about crypto, and I wouldn't be sitting here in front of you today. But I also wouldn't have lost 10 years of my life. Which one's better? I'm really happy where I am today. But I want to let you guys know that I'm looking at the information the same way you're looking at the information. And I'm looking at this and I'm saying, this is a warning signal. We have to do something about this, because if we're running at 56% now and that trend doesn't reverse quickly and go back down to 50% or lower, then we're going to be in trouble. Now, is it a holiday slowdown? Is it seasonal? Sure, of course. Everyone tells me you can't take anything that happens between Thanksgiving in November and the middle of January too seriously. Everyone is focused on holidays, families, gift giving, keeping up with rent and mortgage payments and all those things to keep the light on so that you can bring your family together and celebrate the holidays. Is it a holiday downturn? Maybe it is. Or is it the indication that we have a problem that needs immediate attention, immediate correction, as to avoid us slowly having a train wreck that piles on top of itself, and there's nothing we can do about it to stop it? I see the information. You see the information. We're aware of it, but we're not afraid because we've seen it before. And because we have tools in our belt, we have ammo in our guns. We have lots of it. In fact, if you pause for a second and take stock of where we are today, we've accomplished so much. We've hit our target. With the plan that I put together, think about how far we've come. We went from zero to $140 million. We went from 0 people to 55,348. We went from 1/100th of 1% of the mining hardware that we need to take these Litecoin and Doge blocks to now having paid for 29.82% of all the hash power, selling almost 22% of it. Almost everyone around the state of Texas knows who we are. We're in airports all over the country. We just sponsored the second largest parade in the country. I was at electronics store the other day. Texit Coin. Check it out. Oh, I've never heard of it. Hey, wait a minute. Do you have a Cybertruck? Why, yes, we do have a Cybertruck, don't we, Ricardo? Our vehicles are out there. We've got how many vehicles now wrapped? 100? Maybe more? Wrapping another 10, 25 of them a month. This has proven to be extremely valuable for us. And these cars are all over the country. We get reports about seeing billboards in places I didn't even know we have billboards. We're building the mine. We're building the community. We're building our promotion and awareness. Our brand's getting out there. We're on major exchanges. We've been able to hold a price 100x higher than where we were when we started. What an amazing list of accomplishments. Amazing. And now we've got a couple slowdown. A price has dropped down because of our slowdown. And we're looking at it and we're saying, well, maybe it's seasonal. Maybe it's an indication of something that we need to pay more attention to. But we're not afraid because we know that whether the price is up or down, the sales are up or down, we have all the resources that we need to continue following our roadmap and proceeding with our mission. I'm focusing the majority of my time now on layer 2, and I love it. I wish you could see how far along we are. You'll see soon enough. But we have to deal with this problem of the 56%. And to deal with the problem of the 56%, I offer for your consideration the carrot and the stick. And I want to talk to you tonight about the carrot because the carrot's pretty cool. This is Gage's idea. Gage, you want to tell us about your idea?
Yeah, I think we're going to offer 100 TXE bonus for doubling cash potential, or more like a 10%, right? If you're able to double your cash potential, and we said within a week, right? Within 1 week.
Well, you came up with an idea, and then I ran with it and changed it a little bit. But the cash potential, commission potential, whatever we call it, is based on the growth of your team. Okay, so it's the people that you sponsor and the bonuses that they get. And suppose you're just getting started and you've got no cash potential. If you go from a 0 cash potential to $1,000 cash potential, we're going to call that doubling. If you go from 0 cash potential to $1,000 cash potential in 1 week, we're going to give you a 10% bonus paid out in TXC. We've been buying a lot of TXC back on the market. We've got some excess TXC over here. We'd like to see it go towards a good use. If you go from 0 to 1,000, you have what we'll call doubled your cash potential, commission potential, and you will get a 10% bonus on that increase in TXC. All right. And we're going to try this out every week. If, let's suppose you have $1,000 cash potential and you go from 1,000 to 2,000, that's doubling. Your increase is $1,000 in your cash potential. We'll give you a 10% bonus in TXC, whatever that comes out to at the end of the week. If you have a $5,000 cash potential and you go from $5,000 to $10,000 cash potential, that is doubling. And we will give you a 10% bonus on the increase, which is a $5,000 increase, which would be a $500 bonus paid out in TXC. If you go from a $10,000 cash potential to $20,000 cash potential, that's an increase of $10,000. And we will give you a 10% bonus on that paid out in TXC. Now, if you go from 10,000 to 19,000 at the end of the week, guess what? You didn't double, you don't get the bonus. So you must double your cash potential to take advantage of the bonus paid out in TXC. Does that make sense? Everyone on the same page there? We're talking about cash or commission potential. I think it's called cash potential in your back office. Log in and take a look at what your cash or commission potential is in your back office. Whatever that number is, if you double it by the end of this week, you qualify for the bonus. The bonus is 10% of the increase. So if you go from 2,000 to 4,000, that's an increase of 2,000, and you get a 10% of $2,000 bonus paid out in TXC. If you go from 3 to 6, that's an increase of 3,000, which would give you a $300 bonus paid out in TXC. If you go from 20,000 to 40,000, that's an increase of 20,000. You get 10%, $2,000 paid out in TXC. Everybody got the math so far?
Yeah, just to be clear though, if you go from 5,000 to 20,000, you don't get the 10% on the 15,000 that you generated. It's just on the double.
So pace yourself. Pace yourself because we're going to do this as long as it takes for us to get those numbers pointed back in the right direction. What's the other carrot? The other carrot, I need you guys to pay really close attention to this. The other carrot is getting invited to Bobby's birthday cruise. In the next 24 hours, I will finalize the details. I found a boat. It sails out of Galveston on the 22nd, my birthday. We've got a couple hundred rooms that we're working on locking up for us right now. Because the cruise line requires us to have names solidified 60 days before the cruise sailing date, that's December 22nd, you will have to pay for the cruise by yourself so that we'll give you whatever the terms are to qualify for it. And then we will reimburse you if you meet the terms of the promotion. That's the other carrot. We love carrots. Guys, we've done a great job getting to where we are now because really great people worked hard, did the unthinkable, and made it happen. I'm very proud of where we are. I'm proud of how we got here with a bunch of people that never thought that it was going to be possible, pulled together and made it happen. $140 million, 55,000 people in our community, 30% of the way towards our goal. Guys, we have so much going for us. A name that's well known and respected now across the state. The layer 2 list, a mile long, of people that are waiting for us to let them know that we're ready to start the installation. We're on major exchanges. We're at 100x where we started May 15th of last year. Great, unbelievably successful and accomplished and respected people like Brig coming and saying the things about me and this project like that. Never in a million years that I think that this was really actually going to happen. How did we get here? Hard work. Risk, trust, transparency, honesty, following through on the things that we said we were going to do. Simple stuff, guys. Real simple stuff. I'm very proud of it. We've come so far. 30% of the goal, 22% sold, 30% purchased. Really, really, really great progress. We'll talk about the sticks in January because I do think we're going through a holiday season. I think that, it's very understandable for people to shift their focus at this time of the year. And it doesn't hurt my feelings. While you guys are working on that stuff, I'll be continuing to charge forward on our mission and getting those seeds to start to creep so that by the time we come back and regroup early January, they're ready to leap right off the ticker tape and into our face, just like that. And I'm not sure what kind of thing hits harder, whether it's the carrot or the stick, but we're going to find out, and we're going to make this thing continue moving in the right direction. And I'm really excited about going into the next couple of weeks, enjoying all the stuff we've got lined up. The event this Thursday, the event, the other parties that are happening around the country with people, and our holiday party that's coming up here in McKinney area. So much fun stuff to look forward to. Let's wrap up the year great. Let's hit those bonuses. Let's get those cash potential bonuses that we talk about. And it's going into effect right now. So if you double your cash potential, whatever your cash potential started at this week and whatever it ends at this week, if that number is doubled, whatever the increase is qualifies for a 10% of that increase for the doubling. Like Gage said, we have to clarify. So pace yourself, because if you go from 1,000 to 2,000 this week, then next week you got to go from 2 to 4, and the week after that you got to go from 4 to 8. So pace yourself. Let's get those numbers pointed back in the right direction. Let's get our market moving back in the right direction. Through our work combined, I know we can get there. Let's end the year on a high note, and then let's crush 2026. And that's all I got for tonight. Hope our call was good.
Always wonderful.
What do we got in the question department?
Oh, I've got a favorite.
What's the favorite question of the day?
Is Gage still planning on running Texit Coin in the future when Bobby leaves? My team has heard this.
You know,
I think he puts that in there.
When's
every
the
time.
hostile takeover?
was it Benjamin that asked that question? Is he sitting there typing away on the keyboard again?
He must be.
You know what I like about Gage? I was having a conversation with Gage the other day in my office, and I'm like, I just got to keep an eye on you because I already know that you and Benjamin, your infant son, are plotting my death. To which Gage responds,
Yeah, but that's a good thing.
he's like, think about it. If we're studying your work and your vision and, spending so much time to understand the mission, the strategy, that we are actually in a position to take over this thing. If we take you out, you should be like really happy about that. I'm like, huh, maybe I should. It's got a compelling argument there. Interesting conversations around the office at some points. I think there's a lot that is in store for my friend Gage, and I don't think it is beheading the falafel and claiming the throne, but other great things are coming for us that you will learn about in the not so distant future. What's question number two?
We might as well just take them from the top. Quite a bit of liquidity questions and um,
Digital version of the gift cards. Yes, we have that. It's coming soon. Hang out. How far out are we from business in McKinney, Texas, using our layer 2? We're working on it right now. I'm thinking January is when we're getting ready to start pushing some of it live. Craig says I rock. Need a favor, please update the events on the main page. We just finished our calendar feature. It's a top priority for us to start building out the calendar from the back end. Why is the hash so low? It seems the more miners I get or buy, the less coins. Yeah, that's how it works. Remember, we're competing against each other, not against China. So if somebody else is out there building their hash power by exercising the benefits of the comp plan, they're going to increase their hash power, which makes your slice of the pie get a little bit smaller. And so as more people join our community, the mine gets bigger. But if you're not helping us grow, your output actually gets smaller. That's by design. And it's the whole thing that's driving our growth. And remember, you can always do the math on exactly how much you'll get. You just have to calculate your hash power divided by the total sold hash power, multiplied by the number of coins the network makes per day, and you will figure out what your daily output is. Any data after holiday parade on traffic to the website? Yeah, it jumped. We definitely got a surge the day of. The traffic's back down. Really the top priority for me right now is to get the new Texit Coin website launched before it goes live to the rest of the country on Christmas Day. That way, when people are hitting that website, they're able to buy TXC right there on the page. So there was a small surge, but we're still waiting patiently for the new site to be ready to push live. Any plans to get listed or be seen on Dex Screener? I don't know about that. We're on CoinGecko and CoinMarketCap right now. I'll have to look more into that in the future. Do you feel like we are on too many exchanges for our demand? We sure are. I feel like we don't have enough sellers and buyers. Yes, you're right. I understand the purpose of being on multiple exchanges is to stabilize the coin. Yeah, just think of multiple exchanges as planting seeds. It's like once the market pops, we want to be on as many as we can. If we could get those things integrated now, because sometimes they take months, then like put them on like standby until we're ready for them later, that would be good. But really what we're doing is we're spreading the capital out across multiple exchanges to give people the greatest amount of selection as they engage our project. The more exchanges we're seen on, the higher our coin market cap confidence rating is going to be. So we need to be on as many as we can. Joe wants to know how we, the community, can help prop up the price of the coin. I'll be buying $1,000 in Texit Coin. Okay, so that's a great question. I was talking earlier today with our team here about really what my major thought is regarding the price of, or sorry, what we're going through and dealing with right now. And I want to share that with you because I think it gives you some insight that you might not have had before, or bring together some puzzle pieces that you didn't really have in the past, or may not have considered. And so in September, when we did our biggest month ever, we had our record week. I don't remember which week this was, but it was mid-September. We had a record week, almost touched $10 million in sales. You got to remember, we had two things going back then. We had the game over giveaway that was active, and we had an extremely foolish 1, 2, 3 equals 100 TXC. Now, Gage went to me right after the call and was like, yo, are you sure you want to do that? Do you have any idea how many 1, 2, 3? I'm like, how many can we have? A couple hundred of them? Oh, no. Like a zillion. I don't remember how many we had, but it was like 3,000. Some incredibly wild number. Okay. And so along with that, I had to buy $2 million of Texit Coin off the open market in September. And so if you consider the incredible jump on the price of Texit Coin right here around mid-September, when I'm going out there and saying, oh crap, I got to stock up on a whole bunch of TXC, I was a big buyer for it because of that promotion. Remember, we didn't pre-mine these coins, so I don't have a trillion Texit coins sitting around that I can just give out to my besties. Every coin that I have, we mined. Now, I've got my coins, I've got 2 million coins, but we ended up giving away $2 million worth of coins during that promotion. It was something like 400,000 or something more than that we gave away. I had to buy those coins off the open market. So I was a huge net buyer for those coins. So that drove the price up. So we had two hot contests and promotions running. We had a huge demand, a huge, I wouldn't say artificial, but a huge unexpected demand for coins. And we took our top 150-ish people and went on a 3 week vacation, taking them away from their barbecues and their meetups and their Zoom calls and their time zones. I mean, we're on the other side of the world. So now all of a sudden we're kind of out of pocket for 2-3 weeks. We didn't get back until October 5th. So we're out of pocket these 3 weeks here. So now all of a sudden, instead of us, working and doing the grind, we're partying and celebrating Thai style. So we took our top guys, went on a 2-3 week vacation. Thailand, Singapore was a great time. It was a great bonding experience. One guy didn't even come back. Technically, he came back and then got on a plane and went back, and he's still there having the time of his life. And that's great. But think about it. So we were red hot, had all these contest promotions, and then all of a sudden went on a trip, price falls, people are out of pocket, and then all of a sudden we're looking at it and saying, okay, we had something big. What happened? Let's get it back. And we're now in this kind of downward spiral as we look at it and say, oh man, what's going on? We need to correct this. And it's true, we do need to correct this. But man, what a tough time of the year to try to fix this and turn it back around and point it the other way. So what do we do? Well, one thing that I'm never going to do is I'm never going to force you to go out and buy TXC. Well, if we all just bought blah, blah, blah. No, we're not going to do that. But I will tell you that we're in a TXC accumulation mindset right now. What we're doing is we're getting our mining daily rewards. We're getting Texit Coin. So if the price drops down and you've got commission coming your way this week, and this is the reason I haven't paid out commission for this week so far, if you've got USDC, you get an email, and there's a button that you can click in there that says, pay me in TXC this week. So if you guys want to take advantage of the price drop, buy the dip, as they say, click that button in the email and take this week's payment in TXC. That would do really good for helping support the market price. You don't have to if you don't want to. I'm just as happy to pay you out in USDC. But if you decide to switch your commission preference over from USDC to TXC, then if the price is low, it's helping you accumulate more of those coins at a faster pace. Okay. So that's my suggestion. That's my recommendation in response to, hey, can you get us to, pinky promise that we're going to do more to support the price? Don't worry about the price. I know we're looking at it. I know it's where it is today, but I'm telling you, our price is always going to be the byproduct of the good, hard work that we're doing. Today, our numbers are down. It's that time of the year. So don't sweat it too much because we're still on track to follow the roadmap to accomplish our goals, to get this thing out there and used as a currency. That's what we're working towards. The price has no effect whatsoever on me waking up day in, day out and working towards our mutual success. If you have your attention and focus on it, then take your commission this week because the price is down. It's a good opportunity to stock up a little bit. You should buy TXC on the open market. If you want to buy it through the back office, it's a little bit cheaper there. But hopefully, Joe, that answers your question. Look, I appreciate you guys thinking about it, worrying about it, considering your options. But remember, the price is going to pop. Someday it's going to pop. And then the price is gone and it never comes back. It's low, it's cheap, it's volatile, it's up, it's down. But today, the price is not reflecting our work in either way. It's not reflecting where we actually are so far in building the mine at 1% of our total installed hash power. And it's not reflecting the good work that we're doing in and around the community, the bridges that we're building into municipalities for the layer two. Once the world figures out that we're taking their blocks and that we build out one of the largest stable coins out there through community currencies, a market that nobody is even thinking about, they'll take us seriously and the price will be gone. And we'll look back on days like today and say, man, remember Bitcoin when it was $5? Remember Bitcoin when it was 14 cents? Could have bought $1,000 worth and been a billionaire today. It's easy math, guys. Shiner says, I've been a launchy since May. It just hit me that Bobby is the Elon Musk of the honest money. Thank you. I think it's a compliment because Bobby has virtually invented a better crypto for the world. My thought is since Elon Musk launches rockets sometimes from the Texas space pad, we should call Elon and ask him if we can get the Texit Coin emblem on one of the rockets. Not a bad sponsorship idea. Of course, we would like it to be televised. So maybe one of the first testing shots to Mars. Just pray it doesn't blow up. Yeah. Look, guys, we're doing a lot of stuff like that. We sponsored the Jingle Ball this past week. That event went great. That was a big event. People need to see us 8, 10, 12, 15, 20, 50 times before they take us seriously and realize that we're not going away. We're at 89 weeks so far. Week 100, week of my birthday. This time we're only going away for 7 days, not to the other side of the world. Get there, have fun, get back, get to work. Please discuss all special deals like 27 pack, et cetera, et cetera. Are we now set up for cash purchase of mining seats on the rocket ship? I don't know what all the deals are, guys. You'd have to talk to enrollment about that. I know we've got a holiday gift card promotion. I know that you can buy a builder plan and then add on hash power to the second and third spots. I know that there's other stuff coming soon. But you'll have to talk to enrollment about exactly what the latest deals are. Status of using TXC on at cost metals. Great question, Sharon. I haven't talked to our friend Justin, but we will get there. Who's asking to be on layer two? We've got vendors in downtown McKinney. We've got people now connected with the Melissa Chamber of Commerce. We've got the Iowa State Fair that we talked to when we were there. We had 15 other events attending our conference at IFE. We've got other IFE type things. We've got rodeos that are asking about it. It goes like this, okay? Forget about TXC. Forget about the blockchain. Think about the fact that all of these fairs and festivals need an in-event payment system. Some of them are using paper tickets. Some of them are using a tap-to-pay Dave & Buster's type card. Whatever those things are, we can provide those. The only difference is that it runs on the TXC blockchain. Why? So that it has the ability to have a positive benefit on the community merchants and business owners after the fair and festival leave. They love it. It's the number one thing that they were talking about at this year's IAFE convention. How do we create a positive relationship and impact with the communities that we are working with? We've got it. You don't have to worry about blockchain. You don't have to worry about crypto. You don't have to worry about speculative digital assets. You don't have to worry about volatility. The layer two, the stablecoin, eliminates all of that. And now with the simplicity of the hardware that we found, we can replace whatever system you have now with our system. The difference is that it runs on crypto blockchain, totally fine, reliable network. And if you choose to use it around town after the festival leaves, you can. Or if you choose to use it in the next town over, you can. So our solution, what we're doing, can work with tens of thousands of events across the country. Now, when you use the app to add value to the card, if you buy $100 of the town token or the fair and festival currency, the coin of the realm, if you buy $100 worth, it buys $1 of TXC. Why? Because you need the TXC to pay the gas. You got to pay the transaction fee in TXC if you want to use the layer two, just like Ethereum. So imagine what happens if we've got an Oktoberfest in the city of Addison, and you have 100,000 people that attend that event, and they each buy $100 worth of Addison tokens. That's $100,000 worth of TXC purchases that's going to just go sit hiding in the wallet on their phone. Not on the market, not speculative, not something that they can even access. It's just there in the phone waiting to pay a transaction fee the next time they use the token. That $1 could last them for thousands of transactions. What's our transaction fee cost now? thousandth of a penny. Every time they add another $100 of tokens, they buy another dollar of TXC. And this could happen again and again and again, over and over and over at fairs and festivals across the world. What kind of demand and buying pressure does that put on TXC when everyone to use the app at the festival has to buy a dollar's worth? An unbelievable amount of pressure, a huge, like a wild amount of pressure. Oh, well, they already have a dollar on there. Well, we're going to sell them another dollar and then another dollar. Well, they've got 20 years worth of transaction fee money now in their wallet. Okay, we'll sell another dollar. Well, what happens if the price goes from $3 or $4 up to $2,000? Well, we sent them a little message in the app. You now have $48,000 of rewards. Would you like to convert to local tokens? The buying pressure from using it in fairs and festivals, which is a gigantic industry. What do we say? It's a $35 billion industry. How big is the fair and festival industry? How big is
59 billion, right?
fair and festival industry? AI says $1 trillion annually and growing. $3 trillion industry by 2032. Okay. $3 trillion. That's 3 billion. 3 trillion times 1% is $30 billion of TXC picked up just to sit there in the background of their wallet. Let's say we get 1% of the market. It's $300 million of one of Texit Coin that's going to get mothballed in an app. Not bought and sold every day like speculative Bitcoin. Money that sits there to pay ridiculously low fees per year. That's a goal. Let's pick up 1% of the fair and festival market. Let's do 1% of the commerce at fairs and festivals. And we'll see $300 million go into the TXC marketplace every year, year over year over year. There's not enough Texit Coin to go around. What do you think happens to the price? Well, but they have to buy a dollar's worth. Yeah, it doesn't matter if they're getting one TXC or 1/10 of a TXC or 100th of a TXC or 1,000th of a TXC. It's $300 million of buying pressure every year by picking up 1% of the market. And no one's going after the market. No one. Hopefully that answers whatever the question was. Do the miners benefit when we grab 5 to 10% of the other mine blocks that you referred to a few minutes ago? No, that's what we use to pay the electric bill. Okay. What we don't know is how much we'll actually get once we're merge mining Litecoin and Doge and getting electricity rates that are in line with what the rest of the world is paying. Our hope is that we don't have to charge the miners after the seats are full. The best case scenario would be that we've got a profit and we're able to do something with that. Now, I don't know if we'll use it for our events and parties and stuff, or we'll have a dividend we give back to the community. I'm not sure yet, but we will figure that out as we go. Wondering why our liquidity that's said to achieve path to 16 just given up on and not used on the trading platforms. Guys, I've already burnt through all the liquidity. Yeah, we've bought back about $15 million of TXC, and still we've got downward pressure on our price. Remember, every week we add more to the liquidity, but with a week that we've done $3 million in sales, let's say it's only an extra 300 grand. Well, that's what we're going through basically a day now. And so we've exhausted all the liquidity that we've set aside. Now, we didn't sell property. We didn't go to banks and get loans. We didn't cash out our gold and silver. But the point is that we've kind of fired off as much as we want to try to support the price where we are now. We got to get our seats filling sales back turned in the other direction if we want to see more cash come in to support the price on the open market. Doug says we have had many events for Texit Coin holders. If you look at it, only about six thousandths of a percent, no, 600ths of a percent benefit from these events such as car promotion. Usually it's the top 100 benefiting. We spend all that money for them. Instead of taking that money to add to liquidation, the homes purchased do not liquidate that fast. They are just some things to keep in Bobby's family. This sounds like I'm against Texit Coin. I'm not, and I just want the little guy to see this. Doug, I understand what you're saying, but you just don't have all the pieces of the puzzle, right? First of all, think of it like a chicken and egg. Which comes first? The liquidity comes from the growth of the community. Okay, well, if the community only grows because the price is going up from additional liquidity, how do we get there? So, what happened early on is people bought in not because the coin was even on the market. Like we launched this thing April of 2024. We didn't even go live on the market until May 15th of 2024. So it was like 45 days. So there was no price whatsoever. Okay. So it's like, well, how do you get the price to go up? Well, the path to 16 tells us that it's based on having liquidity and testing. So if we don't have liquidity because we're not moving the seats, we get stuck in kind of like the stalemate where we are now. What a traditional business does when they hit hard times is they cancel out money for promotion and marketing. It's usually the first budget to get cut. The worst thing you can do. Because when you stop doing marketing and promotion, now new people aren't seeing you and the money stops coming in. You're again on that, that slow sinking ship, slow motion train wreck. So again, what we just talked about, and your question was in there at 644, long after we talked about the experience that's required to not be fearful of what is happening right now, we're aware of it. And we've got a carrot and we've got a stick. And so what we need to do is we need to get the sales point in the right direction. If we were doing 10 million a week right now in sales, we'd have $1 million a week in extra cash for liquidity. That would do wonders to support the market price, but we're not doing 10 million this week. Why? Holidays, price, what are the things? So we got to figure out that chicken and egg situation. And, a lot of people say, hey, well, if you gave a promotion, we would get to work. And I'm like, well, we have to get to work anyway, promotion or not. So I need you guys going through the end of this year to take the initiative to see the challenges that I see as well and help us turn this thing around to avoid the stick. But as far as Bobby's family and houses and homes and all that other stuff, we didn't buy those things for liquidity. We bought those things to keep cash safe. We bought those things primarily to have as a store of value that wasn't something that could be picked up and grabbed out of a safe. You don't know what it's like to have to keep $20 million or $30 million safe. Okay. Maybe some of you do. I guess some of you do. But it's a scary thing, man. It's scary to think that we worked our butts off for this money and somebody could just break into my safe and run off with it that easily. People will do crazy stuff for $10, $20, $50,000. Imagine what they do for 20 million. So we have to find clever strategies to keep our resources safe as we continue to build and grow. Okay. So we've sold 22% of the seats. We've installed 1% of them. You guys need to see that gap get smaller. So it's like, okay, well, what are we going to do as a catalyst to get these things pointed back? Well, how about we build the mine? How about we turn on Conroe or Victoria, flip that switch, and everyone goes, oh, okay. Then we're taking more Litecoin and Doge blocks. Ooh, okay. How about we get through the holiday season, have a promotion, and get people excited about, continuing the mission. This is the hard work. How about we bring in a guy like Brig who's seen this before, who's gotten involved with companies that were doing well or gotten involved with companies that are doing poorly? How about we come up with education and training resources so that the people join, they go, well, I'd love to help you. I just need to learn it. Where do I go to learn? We go, well, we'll get back to you. There's a lot that we can do to get to jumpstart that cycle, to get it moving in the right direction. But you got to understand how those two are tied together. And if we don't have the liquidity that comes from the growth of our community, we can't get the price higher and we can't even support it wherever we want it to be. The path to 16 is completely required or is completely dependent on liquidity. The liquidity completely comes from the growth of our community. Anonymous Tenny, what are the plans around third-party audit? White paper being public, these would combat so many negative reviews and also fully eliminate MLM Ponzi scheme accusations. No, they won't. In fact, the more that we try to do that kind of stuff, the more accusations and negative stuff we're going to see. Remember, it costs AI nothing to cook up an article saying that we're a complete scam. We just have to keep our heads down and keep working hard. as far as a white paper is concerned, there's talking crypto language. It's something we'll come up with if and when we're ready to engage the crypto community. My plan, conquer, claim our seat at the table, claw our way to the position at the top. We're not going to ask for permission. We're not going to buy our way in. We're going to take it by taking their blocks. But if the coin isn't holding value and the path to 16 is no longer accurate, what would make more people join? Commission. Why hasn't the liquidity in the website have gone up? I just see it at 10.3 million. Well, I got to double check to see if everything that we're saying as part of that pool is in there, but yeah, there's a lot more stuff that I can add to keep the percentage in line with what it's supposed to be. With gold, silver being up and BTC ETH down, has there been a profit redistribution to average down or replenish the BTC? No. We aren't going to sell the gold to cover our crypto losses. Is there an updated time frame for the path to 16? I'm still on track for February. I'm highly confident that that we're going to pop. Can't we create incentive to increase the trading volume? I think we did. TXC will be at the fund show in Florida. Yes, we will. What happens to our liquidity if we no longer support the price? The liquidity is already gone. A buddy has some questions that he has asked, but it may not get answered on this call. Is there an email address he can send his questions to if they are not addressed on this call? No, you really got to reach out to your sponsor or reach out to the community on Telegram. Will this new bonus promo TXC pays out be paid for by nudges on the open exchanges, meaning the purchases for the coin to pay out? No, we've already bought back millions and millions of coins. We've got extra. If someone who has never sponsored anyone to this point purchased a gift card, would they receive any points for that new promotion? No, you won't get points from gift card purchases until the gift cards are redeemed, right? So it's like, well, when did the points go in? When you buy the gift card? No. When the gift card is used and a new miner profile is created and a new sale goes into the system. Looking for training meetings in Little Rock, Arkansas with contact listing. Jose, please reach out to the Telegram group. Swappy, I know your focus. I know my focus, build the mine, but there's a small and growing group that believes that trading, not just buying or selling, but trading is critical and needed right now. Those people, unfortunately, Swappy, are wrong. Thoughts or nah, not going to address that tonight. No, look, I will address it. I don't know if vermectin tastes better than durian. We would have to do like a blind taste test to confirm. Yeah, look, remember, build the mine, get the result. Build the mine, get the result. If we build the mine, we've got 200 million in promotion, 100 million in liquidity. Look at where we are now. We've built 22%. We've gotten to 22% of our goal and then some. So the result that we're looking for from the price is going to be based on building the mine. And building the mine gives us something to talk about with the crypto community. Why? Because it's never been done before, because we're taking their blocks. No one's done that before. The guys that tried to do this before were building Bitcoin mines. And when you add an extra 100 million mega hash to Bitcoin mine, technically it's like petahash or something else hash, they add 500 million. You can't outmine them in Bitcoin. You have to be institutional level money in order to compete in that game. It's impossible otherwise. So we're doing something different, and we're going to get their attention by doing the job. We got to build the mine. We got to sell the seats. Sell the seats, build the mine. Now, I've bought the mining equipment. You guys have to go out and sell it. There's an extra $3 million now tied up in additional mining power that we have yet to sell. That's where we're sticking extra cash. We're not buying up coins, trying to hold up the price at a level that we can't sustain. We're letting the market do what the market wants to do, and we're building the mine. Hope that answers your question, Swappy. Please add the specific coins and network that can be sent to the crypto QR code on the Google form for the holiday promo. Good idea. Rob, can you mention that to Michaela tomorrow? Currently, it says only crypto, and it is confusing. But here's the thing. Crypto is pretty good now. Back in the day, it was a little troublesome. But I think it's a Ethereum virtual machine address, an EVM. And so you can only send Ethereum and, USDT and USDC and all that stuff to it. Like you couldn't send Texit Coin to that address if it's an EVM. It would not recognize the address. And people are requesting to also have the exact wallet address listed too, because many can't scan. Yeah, it's a good idea. I think a good way to get miners that aren't grandfathered could have the opportunity to earn a BOGO hash commission. Say they reach 2100 hash, whatever level makes the most sense for a balance of bringing a miner into the BOGO reward level. Yeah, look, that's an interesting and good idea, and we're going to get a lot more into that kind of stuff in January. But it's a good one, Robert. Thank you. Ron says, I've had some more sophisticated potential miners who have Googled us. They find various security breaches being reported. We don't have any. Is there a network security status page where someone on the MineTXT way? I heard a breach in October and the back office was solved, but do we have a place to point people to? Yeah, but it was a weak password thing. It wasn't some like protocol error that usually happens with like smart contracts. That's not really us. So somebody's computer got compromised, password was weak, and someone got into our system and made a mess of things. But again, it's not like a chain level security thing that needs to be published and recorded. When purchasing the gift cards, how long will we receive them? Why don't we do email gift card codes for buyers? Because you're supposed to be giving them away as gifts. Gift card, gift card. We will have them emailed for international customers. We will send physical cards for U.S. domestic customers. Any chance the 3+1 could be opened up to miners who missed or are within 30 days? Lots of people that could make a difference. No. Look, and this is a tough one. I value our project. I value Texit Coin. Still to this day, I don't really want to give it away. Well, how about we just have a promo where we give away all this? Why? How about we give people an extra 10% commission if they take their commission in TXE? Why? I'd rather give away the US dollar. I value our project. I value our hash power. We got rid of BOGO because we're giving away too many seats. Those are seats we need to sell later to come up with that marketing budget, to come up with a liquidity budget, to build the mine. If we give away too many free seats, if we don't value our currency, again, it's the downward spiral. I know this stuff. I've seen it before. So I value it. We have to value it, which means I'm going to continue to make it more difficult to access. I'm going to make the promotions less and less favorable to increase the perceived and actual value of our project. 5+1, 5+1. You want to dare me? Going away. When? How about the end of the year? How about that? That'll make it more difficult. Yeah. Because we've got a valuable project and we have to value it. And the people that don't value it now aren't going to get in because we got a 5+1. If you can't convince them to join us because we're real and honest and truthful and beautiful, then a 5+1 promotion is not going to sway them to our way of thinking. We're going to win them over through rational argument, through good presentations, through being good ambassadors, not through promotions and special offers. It helps. Yeah. But it's going away. So 3+1 is here for a very limited time. I think we got 10 more days left for the 3+1. End of day on Friday, they're gone. And then the end of the year, the 5+1 also gone. Can we buy TXC in the mobile app, like in the back office, me or the Bitcoin wallet? Yeah, that's a good idea. I set up wallets for all my family members for Thanksgiving, and if they could buy TXC through the wallet, that would be gives instead of going to an exchange. That would be great, maybe. Yeah, good idea as well. Working on it. Thank you for that idea. Have billboards hit Denver International Airport? No, they have not. Erica says, we need clarification on what price we get the TXC commission payments at, since there are 3 points of time that can be calculated on. Yeah, you're right. One of the security breaches we had back in the day was we were putting too much information in emails that could be seen by administrators. And so we've changed that. So now I can't see what price actually goes out in the published email. I'll figure that part out. And then that's the price you'll get. It's the close of UTC business on Saturday. But that's what it'll be. So whatever it is, when the market closes on Saturday at midnight, I guess midnight Sunday. I don't know when the day actually changes. Is it like 12 or 12? I don't know. So what daytime price? End of day on Saturday. When we receive our end of week email, it shows yes. We will fix that. And thanks for bringing it to my attention. Okay, almost done questions. No more questions, guys. 7:49. Question time is over. What needs to happen to keep the mining up to the 95,000? It seems to be less most days. Yes, it's been struggling. We're working on it. We've got logs that we're going through. We've got protocol changes that we're working on. Well aware of it. We had a good day yesterday or 2 days ago, and hopefully we get it back up to that 95 plus thousand per day. Will we be developing any type of opportunity to become a digital processor like credit card merchants by offering a scanner device? Yes. Yes, we will be. Or we might be buying one. Lots of options there with all the resources we have. You want me to dump the resources into trying to hold the price up at an unnaturally high price, or you want me to dump the resources into acquiring footprint in merchants and business owners across the country? Not a question, but a statement. I talked to a Bitcoin hosting site where you can buy the ASICs from him. It costs $5,000 for a Bitcoin miner. And after pool fees and electricity fees, that miner is profiting $2 a day. Perspective. Be grateful we have the same profitability on a mining seat at 1/5 the price. Yes. Thank you for pointing that out. It's a really great point. What we're talking about is value per day. So if you're getting half a coin a day right now on $1,000 seat and we're at $3 a coin, $3 a coin sucks. It would be much greater if we were at 3 million a coin. I got it. But it's still $1.50 a day. And as we build and grow, that changes. But because the mining caps out, you always have your seed and you always have that profitability because we don't have to grow to infinity. How many data centers do the miners reside in? Do we own the data centers? Well, we've got 4 right now that are in process. We're looking for 4 more. We own is a weird question because you own the hash power, but you don't necessarily own the land or the infrastructure. We'll work more on that as we go further in. Is buying more of our own hash power with TXC stupid? I think it is. I would use cash because the cash in general goes down in value. The TXC in general is supposed to go up in value. Now, there's a time when maybe that's high or low. So you have to evaluate that for your own. I'll take the TXC all day long. Happy to have it. Now we're turning around and using it towards a promotion, which I think is good. But we're in a TXC acquisition strategy right now. So if you've got it worked out where you get special bonuses by hitting goals and it's good value, then do it. If not, then I would suggest you use cash. Are you still giving 500 hash for 1, 2, 3 for founders and early adopters? That was only for founders. It was never for early adopters. There are 104 founders. There aren't that many of them, and it's only founders that get that. Why? Because they took the biggest risk when we needed it the most, and you might have missed it. Why are some people suggesting in the chat to do away with the commissions? I don't know who those people are. I don't see those messages. That is, I don't know, something strange, but not on the table today. That's it. An early call, an hour, 52 minutes. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I do. I did. Like I said, guys, at the beginning of the call, stop. Take a look at the forest. We've come so far. We've done so much. I feel better about it every single day. I know what the resources are that we have to work with. I know what we're up against. I've seen it before. I know the quality of the character of the people that are leading the way. And it gives me a great sense of hope and optimism and excitement for our future. I'm Bobby Gray, I'm the founder and the fearless leader. Not because it's fun to say, but because I'm not dealing with the unknown. I'm familiar. I'm comfortable. I'm looking at what we're doing. I'm proud of the results. I know that we're going so much further and so much higher than where we are today. And I'm very happy that you've decided to join me for this adventure. Thanks so much for joining, and I will catch you guys again maybe on Thursday night. Have a great night, everybody. We'll see you again.